to suggest that both Jebel Ghibli and the well are actually featured within the actual texts of the Edfu Foundation records. Because the other thing to point out, which is important, is that you would say, well, hold on, Edfu's in southern Egypt. How is all this relating to Giza? Well, it says that specifically that the mythical location of, the foundation point of the world where this island rose up out the water was north of the city of Memphis. Memphis is immediately due south of Giza, and I'm pretty certain that this was the general locality that was being referred to in the Edfu building texts.
Now, do you think that this also could have been a literal story, that it might actually have been a flood, and this was among, at least in this region, was the first area that actually was habitable in some way? Could that
yes,
be the
absolutely.
case?
Yeah. We certainly know that there were advanced communities, high culture amongst the very late sort of Paleolithic peoples in southern Egypt and northern Sudan. And these people were extremely advanced. They were living in communities which were not seen again until the Mesolithic era of Europe and the Near East. So many thousands of years later, and they were there from between around 15,000 to around 10 to 11,000 BC. They had very advanced microblade technology. In other words, the flints were beautifully carved and had specific functions. We also know that they were almost certainly experimenting with the domestication of wild plants and cereals for use of for creation of things like bread, probably, and maybe even beer, which is something which does not recur again until many thousands of years later, when it turns up in the Near East, the very area of Göbekli Tepe. I have proposed in Beneath the Pyramids, which is to say the latest book to pull all this together, and obviously describes the entire discovery of the caves. I've basically said that the people that were in the area of Egypt at the end of the last ice age, when some kind of cataclysm or catastrophe struck, probably other parts of the world more so than in Egypt, and almost certainly involved a comet impact, that the people left Egypt and probably journeyed into the area we now know as northern Iraq, northern Syria, southeast Turkey. It's an area that we know from biblical traditions as Eden. Eden was an original location. It's not just a mythical place. There was a kingdom of Eden referred to in the Bible on at least a couple of occasions, and it's mentioned in the same breath as other places we know existed in the same general region of the globe. So we can be pretty certain that Eden did exist. And I have written that whoever was in Egypt left it at this time and set up shop probably on the Euphrates River, and that these people were the instigators of the foundation of religion, of civilization in this area. They brought with them their skills out of Africa, I think, and the descriptions of them are quite specific. They're virtually albinos. Now, they're described as extremely tall, long hair, which is white, their skin white but rudded, and their faces like serpents, like vipers, and this sounds very odd, sounds almost alien. But if you think about a lot of albino people, particularly in Central Africa, where the albino has been seen as almost like the inherent shaman, albino children were taken away virtually at the point of birth, and initiated into priesthood. Sometimes they would be taken into caves, and they would spend their early childhood just inside caves, to prepare them, for their duties as a shaman or a priest. They had special faculties, and they certainly were the ones that would have taken control of communities. I believe that some of these sorts of guys ended up controlling the very rise of the first agricultural settled sedentary communities in the Near East around 11,000 BC at places like Göbekli Tepe.
Wow. It's an amazing story, Andrew. And I definitely want to continue talking more here with you in our second hour for our members here in a while. I want to take a short break as well, but this is so much exciting material, obviously, and just tell us where we can go then to pick up a copy of your latest book, Beneath the Pyramids. Beneath the Pyramids
is available now from Amazon, or there's signed copies, obviously, on my own website, which is andrewcollins.com. Obviously, I welcome any kind of debate on andrewcollins.com, or, press the link to go to Facebook as well. I'm on Facebook and update all this. Perhaps, obviously, we can talk about all the conspiracies that have arisen from the discovery of the caves, because that's obviously where it's going now. Absolutely. And obviously that's what's being discussed on Facebook a lot.
All right, very good. andrewcollins.com. Head on over there and check it out. This is a very exciting book and a very exciting material that we're discussing, and we will continue talking more about the caves and all the rest, as it were, Andrew, in our next hour. So stay with us and we'll be right back with more. We begin the second hour for our members to discuss the entrance to the cave system at the North Cliff, the Tomb of the Birds. Andrew actually met with the Zahi Hawass to tell them about the caves, to give them this discovery. Andrew shares with us this story and how Hawass dealt with it. Hawass has denied the existence of the caves in the media since this time, but the Supreme Council of Antiquities in Egypt have decided to close off the entrance to the Tomb of the Birds. So if nothing's there, what are they protecting, and why are they preventing people from accessing the caves? Are they working on it themselves? What is to be found in Egypt's real underworld? We connect this story with the rumors that have been going around about the secret excavations at the Giza Plateau, Atlantean objects that have been found and removed, and all kinds of sensational rumors, things that of course explode on the web. Get the story from Andrew's perspective, who actually is down there himself and who has a lot of contacts that continuously visit these sites. We talk about the underground galleries, the catacombs, Thoth Hermes, snake symbolism, the dragon myth, and the story of El Hanash, about the giant snake living in the natural cave system. Andrew shares a retelling of the story with us as well. So log in or sign up for a membership to listen to this intriguing second hour. Don't miss it.